So recently you've just got some full cover tips and now you got to deal with the grow out. Let me show you some easy options. So about 4 weeks ago, I applied full cover tips. And most people, the reason why they apply those is because they are easier than sculpting. Sculpting's my favorite, but a full cover tip can be good in a pinch. But they grow out just like anything on the surface of your nail. And when they do grow out, we got to fill it or you got to take it off. So you have two choices to actually fill it or remove them completely and redo the tip just like you did when you first got these on, okay? But I don't want to do that. I actually like the design. Look how pretty those are. Okay, so look at these. You can see the grow out after almost 4-week grow out. You can really see that quite clearly. But if you look at the nails, they still look really good, right? It's just the grow out we want to fix, right? So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to do that. So the number one thing when you're doing any fill, it doesn't matter what you're doing, make sure all lifted areas come up. No matter if it's pretty or not, it must come up. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take care of that. So an important thing to note, see how it's kind of bulging out the side? So sometimes when you put it on, when it grows out, you can see how it changes the shape a little bit because this used to be over here, but now it's up here a little bit. You can really see it with this finger. See how this little bulge is here? It used to be here and it sit in there much nicer. But now that it's grown out a little bit, I need to get rid of that. So that's what I'm going to do for that finger in particular and the thumb. So just going to do a tiny bit of reshaping first. So I'm using my safety bit. It's safety because it's got a round surface, but it's called the bulk and sculpt. And I'm going to file this bulk away. See how it changed the shape right away? Do you see how it's gone from this side, but you can still see it on this side, right? So I'm going to now take it away from here. Look at that. That made the world of difference. Sometimes in the world of nails, the tiniest little move can make the biggest difference. And we can see that happening right there. Okay, so I'm going to do that with the thumb too. Okay, so you can see how it's a bit bulky here. I'm just going to do the exact same thing. Just take that bulk away. We can shape it up in here later, but right now I'm just going to look at that. Huge diff, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, so now we want to take up any lifted area, and this one is the worst. It's the longer finger, so it's going to take a little bit more of a beating. So I'm now just gonna, if I just look at this, you can see that's a little bit of a lift right there, and it's not very happy over here either. So I'm just gonna take that away. If you've got yourself an EFile and a bit like this, then taking it away is next to nothing in just a few seconds. I'm gonna do that here too. There we go. It's done. It's all got all the lifted areas off. Let me just do this one more time. Okay, so all the lifted area is taken care of now. That's the most important thing. Then we got to now prepare the natural nail to absorb whatever product you're going to put on it. So I'm going to grab my arbor band. Now like a medium or a fine, because I am now there is some clear top coat, but we're going to buff it down to the natural nail. So I want to use a gentle arbor band. I like a medium or a fine. And I'm going to plow right through the top coat, get rid of that shine. I could have done that with the bulk and sculpt too, actually. Once you get through that, I'm just going to turn it down a little bit so I'm not filing too hard on my natural nail. And I'm just going to buff up the natural nail. At the same time, I am pushing back the cuticle with the edge of my arbor band. See that? I'm just preparing the natural nail and pushing back the cuticle at the same time. You can do it with a cuticle stick. It just saves a step. You don't have to. Okay, so I'm just buffing the natural nail and the whole, I'm going to go over top of the entire nail. Now keep in mind, I am buffing the tip. When I applied these nails, I mixed these products together and I applied the SuziesQuickTips with the gel mixed with the glitter. That was my glue, basically, to get that nail down. So when I file this here, I'm filing the clear top coat that sits on top of the Suzie's Quick Tip. Okay, that nail is ready for stuff to go in it. We'll just get rid of some dust. Okay, now I'm going to put my adhesion on it. I'm using my bridge, and it is I call it bridge because it bridges the gap between a natural nail and product, or between product and product. So if you're using acrylic, you can use bridge to adhere another product. Or you can, great to use for gel polish too, actually. It really helps the gel polish stick. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of bridge on here. And when you put this stuff on, you put a very thin layer. It's like gel polish, and you massage it in. You massage it in to the areas you want the product to stick to. I am going to go up the entire nail, because if I go any further, which I'm not planning on it, but you never know, I'm prepared. Okay, and you want to give this a good cure. I'm going to use my mini Nuke. Okay, so anybody who's concerned about some little dry skin around the edge and stuff, that's normal process when you're doing nails. If it's not dry, then maybe it's too oily, and if you're having lifting issues, that might be why. It's normal for it to be dry. You can exfoliate that skin around there, but this video is not about that. We're going to focus on filling these nails. Okay, so I have some options here. I could fill it with just a clear, but that's going to look kind of weird. I do like this color a lot. But I also could fill it with a solid color, and that's why I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can do this. So I'm going to fill it with a soft white. That's going to look really cool. Let me show you. And I'm using Easy Gel because it is a very easy product to work with. That's why I called it Easy Gel. I mean, it's not going to do all the work for you. You have to do some work. But it's much, much easier than many of the other products. I'm going to scoop a tiny little bit. I usually just scoop right from the edge. You can always add more. And I'm going to scoop that right on there. And I'm going to get a little bit of alcohol as a solution to move the Easy Gel around. I'm going to get my little pad here. And this is all you do. If you've never done this before, Easy Gel is very easy to work with. The reason why is because it doesn't dry on you. So you just want to flatten it in. So this is what we call filling it. The beauty of this is we get to keep this nail without changing the whole thing out. You can extend the time of these beautiful nails that you got. You don't have to change them completely. That's what this is doing for you. So I'm just going to squish this in. You can play with this as long as it takes till you're happy with the result. And the reason being is it's just not going to cure on you until you put it under the light. But you can see it's already filling it, right? It's creating that kind of milky look. I love the look. And you can do this with any color. Black, whatever color you have. I have black, it's called Midnight. And I also have a pink. But I just thought it'd be fun to fill it with the white. I thought we'd still be able to see this glitters through it. Might be really pretty. Okay, that looks great. So let's just nuke it. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. See how nicely balanced that is? It's fully filled in, and just turn it sideways and check and see if you're happy with how it blends nicely together. You got a bit of an arch. We didn't have to do too much of a balancing here. We just do, I mean, every nail when you're filling, you're doing a tiny bit of a balancing unless it's barely moved like a 1/16 of an inch. But this moves substantial enough that we can do a little bit of balancing. And balancing means taking your apex and adding to the back where it used to be, right? Because it's grown out. So now I'm looking at it aesthetically. Do I like the white that I put in there, or black, whatever color you're working with? Is it blending the way you want? I almost could have it a little bit more whiter, and I don't know if I want to bring it down more. If I like the way the white is, but I do need it thicker in some spots, I can add clear, so I don't disturb the white. But if I feel that I want a little bit more white in certain areas, just make sure that we got to think ahead. When you file it, you're not removing the white that you put in because you liked it. I am liking this. Just for the sake of fun, I think I'm going to add a little bit more white to see if I like that. If not, I can just file it down, right? Because I'm not going to put a clear on top, I don't think. This is part of the creating that's so fun, right? Okay, I'm just going to add, I think I want it more toward this end, so it's a little bit whiter toward the cuticle. Not that I need it thicker in there. I just think I want it a little more intense. And don't worry about making this perfect and smooth. That's what filing and sculpting is all about. Don't put that pressure on yourself. I don't know, I'm liking that a bit better, yeah. I'm liking that now. I'm getting picky, but I wonder now if I'm gonna get just a tiny, tiny little bit and just put it right here to create that aesthetic where the white, I'm going to push it back a little bit because it's more solid through here to blend a little bit. And then I'm going to pull it through to the top. It's almost like that milky design, you know, how you have flowers underneath the milky white? And I'm going to, there's a little bit of a line there. I'm just going to blend that right through. Oh, that's looking actually quite, I like it more solid white. I don't know about you, but that's a personal preference, but we are gonna go with that. Okay, so let me nuke this and let me show you another way that you can revive that design. Okay, so once we file that up, it's top coat, it's gonna be beautiful. But let's look at a second option of what we can do to help that fill. So I'm gonna make a little mix, and basically the same mix as we did here when I did these originally, but you can use any color you want, actually. You can shake it up, but I'm going to use the same color, try to make it look more of a blend. But just keep in mind, this is a different day. And every time you create mixes like this, sometimes even from 1 hour to the next, it can look a little different. But that's okay. Okay, that might be a bit too much white. Using the clear Easy Gel will be the easiest way to accomplish this technique. Now I've got a couple of glitters in there, Cameraman has pointed out, and he can really see. So whenever you're working with glitter, sometimes it's good to have a glitter brush, a glitter pot of clear, and you just use it for glitter because it's almost impossible not to contaminate it. So I'm going to grab the little glitter, that little glitter piece. I just got to grab it right on the edge, and I'm going to place it down in here. That seems like a bit much, so maybe I better grab a bit more. Now you can, you know, if you have another little dish, you can save this mixture for next time. I'm going to put it right on my ceramic tile so I can mix and blend. And I'm just going to give this powder a little bit of a toss, a mix, before I throw it into that clear. That's about the color that I had. That's pretty good. Like I say, it's not going to be exact because it's a different day. That's looking pretty pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it in, as in fold in the cheese. That's a Canadian sitcom reference. Okay, and then I am going to now use my paddle and blend it right in. Now this is clear. You can use a different color. I mean, the white would have been cool. There's so many combinations. The white would be pretty too. Like, you remember this one I just did? I could have mixed the glitter and the white to give a different illusion too. Oh, it wouldn't have been the same as the end, but oh, that would have been pretty too. See, you can just go crazy with the options. I'm actually going to use all the glitter. I think I need a little bit more density of that color in there. That's looking pretty pretty. I like that. Pretty good, pretty good. Oh, that's really pretty. Me like that. Now again, you can do this with your hard gel. That's what I originally put the nails on with. See my hard gel? See, you can see all the glitters floating around that drive cameraman crazy. But you can use hard gel for this as well. I just chose easy gel for this particular video and demonstration because it's easier to work with than hard gel. Hard gel still needs a little bit more skill than the easy gel does. So like I say, you can use that. I'm just using this one because it's easier. Okay, so that's mixing up quite nice. Now it isn't going to be exactly the same as this because this was clear and the clearest is hard gel. Hybrid gel isn't quite as clear, so it's a bit of a different substance, so it's not going to be quite as clear. I mean, I'm talking being really picky, but this is looking pretty good. Okay, I think we can work with that. Okay, so I did stop the cameras for a sec and I went ahead and buffed these all up. I got rid of all the lifting areas if there were any. It wasn't too many. This one had a little bit more and this one had a tiny bit, but not too bad. I just wanted to do that to get that out of the way because we've already done that with the first finger. And then I put the bridge on it, nuked it, and now we're ready to fill. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean the brush so it's nice and clean as we add to this. I'm constantly cleaning the little end here. Okay, I'm going to have, look at, it's all over my hands. Look at that. Once I was sitting in a restaurant, I think it was Grant, and he says, have you got a sparkle on your nose? And it was, I think, a week, maybe 2 weeks that I had used this sparkle, and there it was. Okay, so we're going to fill the index. See that finger? See how far it's grown out? We're just going to take a little bitty amount. It's amazing how little you actually need. And we're going to place it right there. You can always get more. Don't worry about it. Okay, so now I'm going to flatten that easy gel right up in the cuticle area. That's what's so nice about easy gel is you can just take your time. Look at that, get nice and close in there. You know what? That's not blending bad. It's looking good. Okay, so all you're doing is just filling in the area that has grown out. You just want to get some stuff in there to look good and to try to prevent those breaks from happening. Look at that. You know, that's looking pretty good. Just going to smooth it in the cuticle there. Now this is really lacking over here, so we just might need to get some more product over there. Not bad, eh? Look at that. That's blending out quite nicely and matching quite nice, but we have quite a gap over here, so I'm going to get the tiniest amount. See that? Just that tiny little bit. I'm going to slip it in there. Get some alcohol on me brush. And just persuade, you might say, the product to get in there. Just smooth it out. Look how good that looks. That's blending super nicely. Okay. Isn't that nice? I'll take it right to the end there, just, you know, patting it. I'm not really adding, I'm just really moving some glitters around to make sure it blends nicely. Beautiful. Look at that, you did it. There's probably a little bit more I could add. That's getting really picky, but let's go there. Tiny little bit. Beauty. Okay, so aesthetically, we have blended that right in. Looks absolutely beautiful. Let's turn it over sideways and just double check and make sure. So it's, I mean, a little bumpy, but it's not really high in here for the apex. So it depends on how far your nail has grown out, whether you want to get a little bit crazy with the apex. If you don't have those skills, I totally understand that. Okay, I think I'm going to give this a cure. Hold it in position. Just make sure you don't cure the stuff on your ceramic tile you're working with. Okay, so let's get a look at that. That looks pretty good. Now, I will say if I turn it sideways, though, I can see that the apex is a little lacking right here. You could probably get away with it, but this is an index finger, so I am going to put a little bit more there just to be sure, if you're feeling so inclined. If you don't want to do it, that's cool, but I think I'm going to do that just to be sure. I just don't really want to break, because not only is it ugly, but man, it can hurt. So I'm just going to add a little apex in there. Okay, look at that apex now. See that? Put that little piece of apex in there. That's going to ensure, I mean, if you drop a suitcase on it or something, you still might break it. But that's going to ensure the regular daily chores that that's not going to break. Okay, let's fill the rest, and then I'm going to file them up, and we're going to check them out. Okay, so let's file this one together. So you know what? It's not much of a file because you didn't build the nail from scratch, right? We just are filling the filled area and smoothing it out. I'm still finding it's a little bit bulky right here. Not overly. I'm just a little sensitive to it maybe. So I'm just going to, I mean, you can do this with a hand file too. I'm just going to debulk that just a tiny little bit. Do the same on the other side. Not too much. Just finding it a little bit. That's a little bit nicer. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the whole thing. I go back and forth. And the idea of this kind of filing is, if there's any high points and low points, when you're filing over top back and forth, you're hitting all the high points, and eventually it'll take it down, take it down, and take it down, and measure out to all the low points, and it'll be completely smooth. Okay? That's the whole idea behind that. I'm going to go back and forth, and I'm going to do that method all the way to the cuticle. Just go nice and slow near the cuticle. Go around. I'm going to check the side to make sure that it's keeping my arch. That's very nice. Go back and forth. So if I find a little spot, like see that? I just kind of went in there. I'll just go kind of over top of it a few times. It's a little bulky in here. I'm just going to file over top of that a few times. I just sort of concentrate on that little area. And you can see I go right back into my back and forth. That's the most efficient way, actually, to shape your nail. That's looking pretty fine. I love that. Beautiful. I'm going to look down the barrel, make sure I'm happy with him. That's looking really good. Okay, I'm going to get my arbor band. I'm just going to finish it up. And I do that same motion with the arbor band over top. I find it is a great little trick. Every time I miss this, I regret it because there's a little lump or bump that I didn't catch the first time, but the arbor band will smooth it completely over. It's actually my little secret weapon to a very, very beautifully finished nail. I've been doing this for 35 years. I have worked out the most efficient way to make the most beautiful nail. Okay, just going to trim it up around the cuticles. Okay, now I'm just going to go over it with my sanding sponge. It just gives another extra smooth finish. Okay, guys, now I'm going to get rid of all this dust. And you can clean it up with alcohol around the edge if you like. Just make sure it dries before you add. Just make sure you let it dry before you add any gel polish top coat. Beautiful. Let that dry. Looking good. Okay, let's get some reveal on top of there and admire our beautiful work. Okay, for those of you concerned about cuticles, see that little rough? Don't worry about it. The oil will smooth that right over. Okay, so we're going to put our reveal on and take a look. Remember, this is the French white that I put over top of the fill area. And create that very beautiful milky look. That's very pretty. I like that. I can't imagine what that would look like with maybe a different color pink or a peach coming in or black. Ooh. Okay, let's put some reveal on the other ones. Nice. Okay, so what I'm learning here is the match is pretty good. Remember we made the glitter on the different day, like I did these a month ago. And we mixed the glitter this time, and we even mixed it with the Easy Gel, not a clear hard gel. Nobody would ever know. It still looks flawlessly blended. It's beautiful. Okay. Great, we know that was working for us. The blend, I'm just gonna remove, I got a little bit on the cuticle, but I wiped it up right away. I wanna make sure I wipe that up before I nuke it, right? Yeah, really pretty. And we added a little bit more on this one to make sure we had enough apex. Lovely. Okay, so I'm gonna nuke them, then I'm gonna oil them, and let's take a look at the photos. See, the cuticle oil saved the day. Look at there, no dry skin. So you can see two different options on how to fill your full cover tips. And if you're interested in full cover tips, I sell my SuziesQuickTips and the glitters and everything you've seen in this video today at nailcareer.com. I have been stocking my store for the last 2 years, and I'm so excited to introduce new products to you. I have a special one coming. That's a sneak peek of my new gel polish line coming out next month. And if you'd like to see this set of nails were originally applied, check this video out. It's got all the details of how I mix the mix together to apply these beautiful set of nails.